3, 2, 1. Hey.
Yes.
Okay, Jonathan.
It's casual, or as a reasonable facsimile thereof.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Good
And
job.
of course, Renee, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Rory?
I'm good. How was everybody's 4th of July?
Very
Hot
good.
as hell.
Hot, yes.
It's a little moist over here. Elsa's passing by, but she doesn't seem to be a problem now. She's setting up north and out of the way.
She's moving just because of this show, probably. I feel like she wanted to accommodate us.
I think it was our karma that she would pass by.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So booking guests for August now for It's Casual.
Okay.
If anybody's interested, they may want to give me a private message. Ro Evans is going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. She's replacing Rob Howard, my friend, which is going to be nice. I mean, it's a good replacement. She's a wonderful performer. And have we heard from anybody else? From anybody that we know here on the show?
We did hear from somebody who was kind of upset that we hadn't been playing a message that he had sent us. So he said, well, let me just put him up there and you can watch it. Yeah. I think it's a familiar face. I think you know. Yeah.
This is Roland Pruitt, and I'm a big fan of Godzilla and kaiju. That's the Japanese word for monster. Kaiju movies. So Godzilla and Rodan, Ghidorah, all that stuff. So I do kaiju paintings, and I want to show you a couple of them. This is the original King Kong from King Kong versus Godzilla in 1963, and I also painted that Godzilla. So it's a set. So this is Godzilla from 1968. He's my favorite Godzilla from the Showa series. The Showa series is the original Godzilla films from 1956, actually 1954 to 1975. And this is Gigan, who is a kick-ass cyborg villain from outer space. This is Gara, the green gargantua, and his brother, Sanda, the brown gargantua, although he looks kind of yellow, so I got to put a little more brown in him, I think. I got to maybe retouch this up.
That's a good idea.
This is King Caesar.
He does look yellow.
Who is buried in a cave until they call him to come out and fight monsters, and he's a real badass. And, of course, Mecha Godzilla, original Mecha Godzilla, the cool Mecha Godzilla. The new one's kind of weird with those weird hands and stuff, so I don't like him so much. But this is the real Mecha Godzilla, so that's the kind of thing I do.
Oh, wow! Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we were supposed to play that video like 4 or 5 shows ago.
I know. I know, but here's the thing: like, he's actually really, really talented. Did you see the level of detail?
They're pretty good.
They're really good.
That's one of the best.
I think he's like a weird person, but he's definitely a prodigy. I'm just gonna say it.
We did tell him we were gonna run that video a while back, so I feel bad about that. I'm sorry, Roland. Glad we got.
Sorry, Roland. We love you. We should have him on the show sometime. I feel like there's a way to do that.
Perhaps, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll reach out.
There's no doubt about that.
Our people will talk to his people, and we'll figure something
out. Talk to his people.
I feel like he has people
on Socially Distant Fest now.
Oh,
painting
yeah,
paintings.
that's what I'm saying. He has fans.
Because
he
he
gets
saw
a
me
lot of.
painting on there,
A lot of
and he
fans.
saw Jake Allen painting on Socially Distant Fest. So he's doing it now.
He's the new Bob Ross.
Yes.
It's not as calming as Bob
So if you
Ross.
like Godzilla, yeah, look him up.
Or even if you don't like Godzilla, I feel like there's something there for everyone.
Well, as you know, I've been having a wonderful time hosting It's Casual here on Tardon Media, but this was not the first It's Casual.
Right.
I had a show on Tampa Access Cable back in 1989-90 called It's Casual. And this is what this show is going to be all about. It's going to be about how that came about and the kind of stuff that happened on that show. This very different kind of show. This was a live call-in show where people could call in, and a lot of times the calls were very abusive. And we'll get into that a little bit. And the producer on that show is a guy named Jim Moss, a good friend of mine. He became a good friend of mine many years ago when we met in '88 at the Comedy Corner in Tampa. We were doing. I was actually the MC there, and he was doing open mic night every week.
Oh, okay.
Well, not every week, but sometimes he would come.
Oh, that's cool.
And let's go ahead and bring him up.
All right, let's see.
He's a writer, an established writer. He writes lots of plays. And Jim, what's with the sunglasses?
Oh boy!
Oh wow! Did we walk in on something? I feel like we might. Is this a good time for you,
Jim? This is the kind of thing that would happen on It's Casual. The other It's Casual.
I feel like we could call him back at a better time.
Okay, I feel
There
like
you
I'm
go.
ready now, because back when I did It's Casual,
Place your bets on when
I
that
had a
falls
mustache.
off.
I wear a coat. That's why I'm wearing a coat tonight.
There you go. Yeah.
Ah!
I like that. You look very distinguished with the mustache. I feel like
too
that's
soon.
yes, very much. This is a very.
I am
There you go.
too soon.
It's very debonair.
So, let's bring Jim back, and hopefully he's a little more presentable.
Well, Jim,
That's
I don't. I feel like we contacted him at an inopportune time, and
Maybe.
Middle of a
I'm not
bank
sure what the
heist,
gun was
maybe.
all about.
yeah,
There he is. Well, he's got the glasses on
Whoa,
still.
here he comes.
He's in producer mode now.
Okay.
He was the producer on It's Casual. He was working at Jones Access Cable in Tampa, public access, just like Wayne's World. And, as a matter of fact, I truly believe that Wayne's World stemmed from that experience in Tampa, because Jim Brewer was a writer for Saturday Night Live at the time, and he actually knows about public access cable. And the access shows that we did here.
Yeah.
So I think that might have caused him to write or to help to write that concept.
You might be entitled to some kind of compensation for that.
yeah, right.
Wouldn't that be cool? That would be great.
Jim, how
Yes.
did we meet?
I think it was at the Comedy Corner and or
Yep.
Punchline. It might have been a Punchline. On
Comedy Corner.
Comedy Corner. Okay, Comedy Corner.
The two big clubs in Tampa at the time were the Comedy Corner and Crackers, which was on Dale Mabry.
There was also
And
Punchline on Fowler.
I know there was a punchline came later. Yeah. I was the MC at the Comedy Corner, and you would come in and do open mic.
Yes.
And I remember one of my fondest memories of your act was you sang a spoof of the song Oklahoma called Old and Homely.
Yes.
Do you remember that song? Can you sing a few bars?
Oh boy.
Please do.
Go for it.
Oh, and homely, that's what we are, wrinkled and all gray. And with no excuse, we drink prune juice, then we pass gas through the night and day. Oh, and homely, our faces resemble a raisin, and our varicose veins always remain just a bit below our sagging skin. Although we may not sit through the day, our hemorrhoids still won't go away. And when we say, it means we're pulling a big heart attack, so take care of us. We're old and homely, and gray.
Oh my God.
Oh no! Oh
And
no!
he disappeared again.
Still remembers
That-
the whole thing. That's
Oh
amazing.
my gosh. Dedication right
Jim,
there.
are you okay? Do you need assistance?
So that would have been
Jim
my first
managed
experience
the
with
ether.
Jim Moss.
He's falling. He can't get up. So
He's
press
fallen
your
and can't get
monitor,
up.
Jim.
Get that bad life alert.
So that's 1988. And this clip that Renee is going to show is what Jim saw at that time, me performing comedy at the Comedy Corner.
Oh,
Here we go.
let me get that. Let me get
Here we
that.
go.
Rory Comedy 88.
Yep. Hold on. I got it.
Not about anyone else. It's all about Rory. Show the goddamn
my
Rory.
gosh.
It's always all about Rory.
Clapping your hands.
Here we go.
Wouldn't that be wild? You go up to the front ticket counter and there's Miss Piggy waiting to take your money, right? Oh, hello! Would you like a ticket for Rainbow 5? Goody! Then you go up to the front door. Who's there? Kermit the Frog waiting to tell your ticket for you. Hi ho and welcome to Movies at Michigan! Thank you! Your movie is straight back and down the hall on your right.
And that was the kind of thing I did. I did the voices, the cartoons.
I like
and
the
Muppets and
bobbing. I
stuff.
like the head bobbing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Thank
Can you do
you.
that again? Can you do that?
And Jim has fallen and can't get up.
And Renee, that gives me an idea for maybe something down the road. We could have Rory now watch some of his old stuff from back then and just critique where he was back then.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be. Oh, wait, we're back.
Jim's back
we're
in
back
bank
the middle
heist
of
mode.
something.
Look at him.
We
Look
shouldn't
at
be
him.
seeing this. We shouldn't be
Here
seeing
we
this.
go again.
I feel like I should not be on the same screen for legal reasons.
I forgot to tell you that Jim does characters too.
Aha!
I don't know that that's a character. I feel like there's someone
Well,
in his
and that was the other
residence.
thing was Jim would do sketch comedy. He did sketch comedy, a show on public access cable. And he also was with a sketch comedy group called Dirty Soap, which was a live production in Tampa at the time. And I used to actually write for those people and actually did their last show. I came into the crew at the last moment. And they were kind of like a Saturday Night Live kind of group.
Okay.
So Jim and I did a lot of writing together as well as performing. And eventually a guy named Gary Platisse came into the Comedy Corner and he saw me perform. And I guess Jim told him about me. And he said, I would like you to co-host my show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was kind of abusive. I guess he wanted somebody to kick around. And I didn't like it. So I did a couple of months. And then I got my own show thanks to Jim. There he is.
There he is.
Jim said, why don't you do your own show? And so we did one called You Got the Show, which Jim always hated that title. That was my title and he hated it. And then people would call in and I would wear suits and ties and very strict looking, and people would call and go, hey, where's your fucking neck? So we decided to go casual.
Still haven't
take the
grown
ties
one,
off.
Rory. We're disappointed by this fact.
What's that?
You still haven't grown one.
So didn't you see the head bob earlier? So that was the thing. So we called the show It's Casual from then on. And we had a good 2-year run and we had a lot of really strange, different kinds of guests. Tell me about what the process was on your end, Jim, because I would go out and do comedy and I was working like 3 different jobs and I would come in on Monday night and you would do most of the work.
Yeah, I would set up the studio and coordinate the crew that we had and make sure we had someone on camera, someone on audio board. Usually I would direct the show. And of course we had to make sure that we had a guest booked and we had to, kind of file some information ahead of time so that the station knew, what we were going to do. I had at least an idea of what we were going to do, who's going to be on the show. Usually we try to do this like a month in advance so we could advertise who the guests were. We had a CGI, very primitive CGI screen that we used to put up in between shows that would advertise what was going on in various shows during the week.
All right, and you got some pretty interesting guests on the show. We actually had the freeze-dried pet guy.
Yep.
Who was in St. Petersburg at the time, right?
Yes.
And can you tell me about your experiences on that show? Because it was one of our most interesting shows.
This is the alternative to taxidermy, which was to take your beloved pet that when it had died, instead of having it taxidermied, they would put it in this sort of very large vat. We went down to and we taped a segment on it before that we ran in on the show. We went down to the guy's place of business, and we taped the animals that he had in his vat. And it was this large...
It's a big chamber.
Yes, chamber. That's a better description for it.
Yeah.
They would, put the animals in there, and what would happen is it would go down, I think, -5 degrees centigrade, and the chamber would also suck out all the moisture, and so as a result, the animal would be slowly freeze-dried. And he had in his office a Doberman that was freeze-dried that we eventually did bring on the show. That was entirely, and it was like it weighed 75% less, because once you remove all the moisture from these animals, they're lightweight. They're very lightweight. You could pick it up with one hand. And oddly enough, you could also pick it up from its fur with one hand, because when they freeze-dry pets, the skin shrinks so the fur gets locked in. So you could actually just lift it up by its fur, and none of the fur would pull out.
Right.
So it was a very odd sort of thing to lift up this Doberman. So we had so we went out there, we taped a segment, and we added some music to it. How much is this dog in the window? The one that looks like how much is that dog?
Which he didn't like, I don't think, after fact. He thought we were making fun of him.
It was a funny little segment, and we had pedestals set up in the studio to put the freeze-dried pets on the pedestals, and we had, if you recall, Rory, we had a Twilight Zone theme going, where we had dry ice in the studio that was melting to provide the sort of fog underneath. And we had you step out between the pedestals, and you said, "Welcome to the freeze-dried pet zone. There's no chirp, no bark, no meow."
That's right.
You just entered the freeze-dried pet zone.
The freeze-dried pet zone.
Yes.
And again, after the show aired, he must have thought that we're making fun of him, because I actually tried to get in touch with him to come on this show, and he hasn't answered.
I'm surprised you found him, because I don't know what happened to his.
He's down in like Fort Myers now, or Central Florida.
A lot of older women down there with poodles. So
he was actually looking forward to freeze drying a human. He wanted to do that.
He did. He said that on camera, and we used that in the music video that we made of him. I think that's what upset him. I don't know. Freeze-dried people are next.
Right.
We threw that clip in as well, and he brought on one of his customers. Well, here's the sort of background to the show. He pulls up with the van, and I said, "Hey, I want to, about 4 of these freeze-dried pets. We're going to put them on pedestals," and I explained what we were going to do with the setup. And he says, "Okay, sure, brought him in." And so I go out to his van to help bring these pets in. Now, I thought that he would bring in the ones like the Doberman that were fully freeze-dried.
Right.
Okay. He brought in 3 other pets that weren't entirely freeze-dried.
Oops.
So they came right out of that. They were like frozen. I'm like, God, these things are cold. And I'm like, I asked him, should these be out of the freezing chamber? And it tells me, oh, yeah, it's fine. You could take him out for a few hours. Not going to hurt him. Like, okay. So, we set him up in the studio there. And it takes about a half an hour to get the show ready. You got to do the mic check. You got to do this. You got to, check the cameras, make sure everything's running. And so they were set up. We only used them for that one segment. But, of course, under the hot studio lights, these pets began to unfreeze.
Yeah.
I don't know if he or I were prepared for that. So that by the end of the show, the studio smelled like roadkill.
Yeah. And these things were hard as a rock, the ones that were fully, freeze dried.
Oh, yes. They were
like a statue.
Yes.
But if they got wet, he said if they got wet.
Well, they didn't get wet.
Yeah, there could be problems too.
Studio lights. And what happened was they started to melt. And when we pulled them off of the pedestal, now we had the pedestals draped in this fabric. The fabric was soaked. The fabric was wet from the frozen water that was in the pets, or the frozen fluids. Let's call them fluids, because that's what they were. They were fluids. And so I'm helping him take the frozen pets back to his fan. And I pick up this one dog, and my fingers crunch. And you can feel the ice crystals. Now, when I moved that pet out, it was frozen solid, like a stone. Now was soft underneath. And my fingers were crunching ice crystals in this dog's belly. And needless to say, after helping these pets back out, my hands smelled like roadkill.
Yeah.
Certainly kept me from biting my nails for the next week. So yeah, it was like it was one of those little anecdotes of and it smelled like roadkill, and people that came in there next, they were like, "Who died in here?"
That was not your least favorite show, though. I remember your least favorite show. We have a clip of it.
No. That was actually one of my favorite shows. Not the post.
The experience
wasn't my favorite. The post show was not my favorite experience. Because normally, after the post show, we go out, we party, we hit, Jimmy Mac's, and we.
Yeah.
I did not feel like drinking after that. I felt like going home and taking a shower, which is, I think, exactly what I did.
We had a night when a guest bailed out on us at the last minute, and we ended up putting our cameraman on as the guest, as Bill the Nothing Guy. And this was your least favorite show. You hated this show.
Yeah, it probably was.
So, I'm kidding. This is basically the premise. We stretched this joke for a half an hour. Him just saying, "Oh, I do nothing. I just stay at home and I watch TV and I glom off my family." And it just kept stretching it. And you were getting angrier and angrier as the show was going on. You were trying to get something else in there besides the one gag. So let's show a clip of the very end of Bill the Nothing Guy.
You don't think your lifestyle is strange? You don't think it's bizarre the way you live?
It's absolutely normal.
So Bill, you just don't have a life and you just sit at home and watch TV and sponge off of relatives and people you know?
Well, I have 18 brothers and sisters. I got a lot of sponging to do.
Okay, and they contribute to society and they're out there mingling?
Oh, yeah, they're out there doing all kinds of things.
But you chose to be the way you are.
Somebody had to do this exotic lifestyle.
Okay, Bill, you're a silly guest, and I don't think I want to have you on the show again. And Rusty, you can go ahead and take him off now. Phil.
Oh, you don't want to have me back again? Oh, no!
Bill, you're a silly guest. Get out of here. No. Goodbye, Bill.
I like silly guest. I think that's awesome.
You're a silly guest, and I don't want
You're
to
a
have you
silly
anymore.
guest, and we can't have you.
This is a silly sketch. We're going to stop it now. So that was Jim on the left-hand side picking up the chair and escorting Bill the Nothing Guy off. Oh my God, really? But my worst episode, the one that I hated the most, was when I was sick and I couldn't come in to do the show. So you went and got one of the other show hosts,
and that was one of the best episodes.
So you say?
Yes.
And what was her name? Virginia or Ginger or
Georgette?
And she was Mama Penland, the Mama Penland episode. And let's run that short clip if we could.
Hi, it's Casual. This is Roy's mom. Oh, Dr. Ruth, I got a question wanted to ask you, do you think an old woman like me could go out with a young guy without having a heart attack? You're awful. I didn't ask for that. If I did, I'd make an appointment, you stupid, crazy nut.
To my credit, I never called a guest a stupid, crazy nut, even though they said a lot of bad things on that phone. So that was the way the show rolled. Was we would just kind of fly by our teeth and hope we'd throw stuff at the wall and hope it stuck, and we dealt with the callers, and they were just I always suspected that you guys never really screened the calls in the booth. You said you were screening the calls.
We did screen the calls. We had to. It became a requirement because we had so many bad callers.
Yeah.
We had to screen the calls, but they would occasionally get through. And what they would do is they would call up and be perfectly normal and everything else, then hang up and then call from another phone right before you took them online, and they would sneak back in. So
pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
So I don't miss that part of the show.
Yeah,
the live call-ins. We do have people who text message here on the show. I can't see it tonight. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I can't. But they're pretty behaved. They're pretty nice. They're usually fans and they like the show, so that's nice. So, were there any moments on It's Casual that stuck with you, as far as favorite moments or worst moments?
You had a funny show with the female impersonator, and the realization on the show, not beforehand, oddly enough, that they knew each other, that they were in the same fraternity.
That's right, the other Rory.
And we
showed that clip actually on this show a couple of shows ago.
On the show, so no one was prepared, and everyone just kind of rolled with it. It was hysterical because he's come untucked. Was one of the oft repeated phrases later. At least back, at least in the crew room, at least in the control room. When someone did something inappropriate, she's come untucked.
Do you still have the 2 awards that we won from Jones Access from that show?
I do somewhere. I have to find them.
We actually won for best comedy series.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. Both years that we were on.
Yes.
And that was nice. I mean, they had a little ceremony and everything, and everybody got something.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
One of the things about the show, we would take people that I had met in the comedy corner. Of course, I would try to get the comics on, and I would get the comics that were doing open mic on the show. And there were a couple of girls that came about at that time. Before I mention that, you saw Sandra Prill at the beginning of that clip of Mama Penland, the girl with the wiry hair. She actually became a phenomenon. This poor kid wanted to be the next Madonna, and she had a tiger mom that was pushing her, and she couldn't really sing that good. And everybody was putting them on their shows as kind of a gag, and I feel bad. I mean, I after years after the fact, decades after the fact, I felt bad about being part of that.
You couldn't tell her that she couldn't sing. You would ruin her as a comic genius. It would have ruined it. It would have ruined it. She was the original William Hung. She truly was the original William Hung. That became famous from American Idol.
But again, when she did find out, when she made the realization that everybody was making fun of her, she completely disappeared. She fell off of social media and disappeared. There are groups looking for her now.
Oh yeah. There's a Wikipedia.
Looking for Sandra Prill.
There is a Wikipedia article on Sandra Prill.
Yeah.
Sandra Prill is on Wikipedia. Do you have a Wikipedia article, Rory?
No.
Oh.
No, you got to get somebody else to write one for you. I can't get that.
Oh,
So anyway,
yeah.
But I am on IMDb. I've got a couple of credits on IMDb.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I got a couple on IMDb too.
Another phenomena of that time, and again, they kind of disappeared. But they were wonderful performers. I used to always enjoy their stuff. Very funny girls. Were the rgirls, Ramona and Rebecca. And I want to bring them up right now because we got them back here right now in our studios. There they are.
Oh, hey.
Ramona and Rebecca's
Hey.
rgirls. So good to see you again.
Well, it is so good to see you, Rory, your R guy, and Renee.
We were the R
and
gang.
Jim. Yeah, and Jim and Jonathan.
The J-Men.
Jonathan,
Jim
he's
and
great.
Jonathan, the J-Men.
Yeah, he's great. But I'm not available. Hi, Renee. I'm not available because I have my new friend now, Snoop Dogg, who is
Oh, here we go. The
That's a
alcohol
party
has
right
come
there.
out.
He is
The
my
party has started.
Oh, well, I just
Now-
wanted you to know I'm in a relationship with him. But
Very good.
Oh boy.
I am so glad to see all of you, especially Ramona. Ever since she left me, I've been looking for a new partner.
Well, funny you should say that. Because actually, I want you two girls to get back together and start doing your thing again. But Renee, when I booked this show, when I showed her the videotapes of you girls, she goes, "I want to be an art girl."
I know.
Oh,
She
here
is
we
Who
go.
would
right.
want to
She
be an
does
R
her
girl?
names.
Come on. Who
She is
wouldn't?
by her name alone.
I know. I'm an R girl, like literally.
You are literally an R girl.
So
Well,
you
that's
girls also started
always-
out at you started doing stand-up comedy in Tampa.
Did
And
we?
You would do the open mic nights.
We were
And you would come to the
concerned,
comedy corner.
we were concerned that our comedy wasn't funny, and that caused a problem.
It did. It caused a huge problem because comedy is supposed to be funny.
Who knew?
It is. We had an episode about that on your show.
Yes, we did.
Is comedy supposed to be funny?
I mean, this whole showbiz thing has been so educational, and you know what I mean.
It
The
has.
hard knocks,
It has.
the knockers.
I think you're both
that you
drinking
can
some
put off
Art Girl
and
wine.
get a good night's sleep. You know.
But we try. We try to get a good night's sleep. And this literally Snoop Dogg helps. However, the problem is comedy. It's so edgy. You don't know when you're funny. You don't actually know. If you don't get that feedback from the crowd, the raucous laughter, the response that you're looking for, it can
Well,
go.
I remember you getting laughs. I remember laughing very hard at your act and what you were doing.
Did you?
And again, now you say you don't remember this, but there was a third R girl right in the beginning, early on.
We don't remember it? Oh,
Well, the story that I
the
told about you
third R
bringing
girl.
a severed head of this girl to a show.
Yeah, the cute one.
Unless
It was
you
a
have
prop. It was a
video
prop.
proof. Unless you have video proof, I know nothing about it.
that's right. And here's the thing. I mean, we had to do what we had
It was
to
an
do.
accident. That's what you said.
Really? We had to
sure
do it.
She was the cute one too.
She was the cute one, but we had to withhold her cuteness from all the world because it would have ruined our act.
The comic on stage would be saying, "Yeah, the blonde is cute." Well, now you're both blonde, but she's
Hence,
the
we
only
all
blonde
became
at the
one.
time. And we would say the blonde one was cute, and the tall one was definitely a man.
That would be me. I was a man. I was a man, even though I was a female impersonator. Or as my friend likes to say, a female impersonator, which is also
That
correct.
that was the thing. That was part of the
Exactly.
charm.
Ooh.
You girls
And you
dressed up in these get-ups with the big butts.
Yeah.
What are you trying to
And
say?
you actually came off as kind of looking a little bit like female impersonators. So it was
But
like,
you know what?
it was like an androgynous thing. You
Did
know?
we?
Hey, who had the big butts prior to 1990? Who had them?
That would be me. And I still
89?
have it.
88? Who had the big butts? I
Yes.
gotta tell you.
Not the Kardashians.
No.
Not the
No.
Kardashians.
Nope.
We should have
I like big butts, and I
Not even
cannot lie.
Sandra fucking D.
exactly.
Well, now that the F's word been burst on this show,
Oh
Rory,
crap! I'm so sorry.
I think someone else dropped the F-bomb earlier.
it
Jim.
wasn't.
No, it wasn't you. No, you were clean and wholesome. And
That's
we
right.
did that.
So much for the R-girls being clean and wholesome.
No, our clean and wholesome days are over. We're so sorry.
Uh-oh, it's their nemesis.
Did I introduce you to my boyfriend?
That was another set of characters that I really, really enjoyed was Claire and Claire. They were your perfect nemesis.
They took over.
Talk about wholesome.
That wasn't at all what he
But being
intended
evil.
in that episode, but
Well, I know.
So we
What
had you on
was with-
casual a few times.
I think their organizations are defunct now. The WWWWWW, which is women
No,
with wheelchair-
MMMMM. Modern mothers making more meaningful media.
They're both gone.
Not
We've not heard
backwards,
about
Rebecca.
either one.
You just
I don't
put the
know
ends
why.
upside down.
That's gone.
Modern mothers making more meaningful media. That was the,
that's right.
And
Did you
women
write
with
that, Vince?
wheelchairs watching what's what. And the point of the matter is they're gone. We haven't seen them since. Have you, Ramona?
No,
No, they're
I
gone.
don't see anybody anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
I think they're
Ready
waiting
for the storm.
Oh
They
yes,
could be coming back.
I believe they're working for some right-wing organization right now.
New organizations. Can't wait to hear about that.
I think they're working for Martin Zuckerberg now.
No, they're
Maybe Jeff
I
Bezos.
think not.
So you came on. You came
the
on
R-girls
casual a few
were on the
times.
cutting edge of the whole transgender revolution.
The transgender revolution.
That's right.
and I
Is that
gotta
what it was? I don't know.
I gotta say, we owe a lot to drag queen friends.
Right.
Well,
Allowed us
Didn't
to.
you perform in a few clubs where, yeah, that was the main show?
Sadly,
Well,
for
We had to perform as men. We had to perform as men.
because
our
let's get down to it. Drag queens are guilty of gender appropriation. Because right when you get down to it, that is gender appropriation.
It is indeed, Jim. You are
Yeah.
correct. You are correct. But the point of the matter is, so we stole their
That's
act.
so
I don't
wrong.
understand. There's no law against stealing a drag queen act.
Just want to be loved.
you can steal jokes, you can steal costuming. It's
You didn't steal. You did no. You girls did not steal.
on your
You
resume. You just put it on your resume, and it becomes real.
no, but you girls. Let's face it. You girls did not steal. You simply reappropriated your gender. That's all you did.
Reappropriated our gender.
That's all you did was reappropriate. So
Did you say misrepresented your gender?
No, I said reappropriated, Rory.
We were the Victorias of our time, let's say. We were the Kim Kardashians' predecessor. We were fabulous.
And again,
So
with the whole
what can I say?
Kardashians and the dad becoming, a woman.
That's right. So where's the
Yeah,
footage?
you were ahead of your game. You were way ahead
Yes,
of
we
your
certainly
time.
were. We certainly were. And
You were.
lawsuits will ensue.
Yeah, well.
And so much so
Please stay on the lookout.
that they actually gave you your own show on Jones Public Access Cable.
Oh, they did.
Come Clean with the R-Girls.
Oh my gosh.
And I've got the opening to that show.
Oh, do you?
We got a clip of it.
Oh,
We're going to run it right
Wait,
now.
You're in it.
Rory,
Right,
is this
man?
the one that says Claire's?
This is the one where Claire and Claire take over. So you're going to get to
Okay.
see.
So
Your
this
old
is
nemesis
our girls and
again.
Claire's. Okay, I want to see this. I've been wanting to see this since I. Hold on.
Claire and Claire.
This is hilarious right now. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. I want to be on screen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There they
now
are.
It's time to clear the air. Wipe the slate clean. You know a clean you want to get close to. That's right. They're environmentally safe, biodegradable, and they never ever leave that sticky soap scum.
Come clean with the R girls.
When the R girls are in, the dirt's out. out.
Welcome to whatever the name of this show actually is called. It's the rgirls that usually appear on this half hour of
That's right.
Access Entertainment.
That's right.
That's right.
The rgirls were to have us as their guests to discuss women in media, and
they were supposed to be here this evening, and
my dear associate Claire and I did.
So,
who are those
Rebecca?
bitches?
That was well, actually, both of them were amazing transformations, so completely different from the rgirls.
Well, it was very upsetting to many people. Let me say that these women invaded our show. It was horrifying.
Did you actually get hate mail for that?
No, not from our fans. Oh no, from the crew.
From the crew.
From the crew. You're right. He mentioned going to Jimmy Max. Yeah, he mentioned going to Jimmy Max for drinks and snacks after, but no one wanted to go with us that day.
Okay, now Jim has been showing this clip.
Jim?
Ain't a clip. This is real life.
Oh,
it's real life. That is
doing
real life.
Since the beginning of the show.
Jim is being abducted by others. Are they in the room with
No,
you?
I'm abducting.
Oh, you're abducting.
Taking this show over.
No!
All right.
God, thank God.
You're a little late. Dr. Piranha took it over a couple of weeks ago.
Moderator. You know, like the McLaughlin.
We absolutely need a new moderator. We don't need this Rory Penland anymore.
Well, I wasn't
okay. So you're going to shoot me through the internet.
I hope not. Oh, watch where you're aiming that thing. Oh,
yes, exactly.
Oh my God!
You're gonna mess up your screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Shoot a BB through your screen.
Are you wearing a shirt?
No.
This is. Well, you're looking pretty good, Jim.
Thank you.
You've aged well, sir.
Thank
you. Did you girls see the mustache earlier? That's the one thing I forgot.
Yeah.
Dashing.
That and the mullet.
The 70s porn mustache, but he looks like he could take control of us.
That was Ron. What was his name? Ron Jeremy mustache.
Dashing.
Nobody's met him, right? Nobody in here has met him.
Not in person. Ron Jeremy, no.
Personally, no.
He's
been on.
He's very
live. What do they call
women
them? Reality shows.
Well, have you? Have you, Rory?
What?
Met him personally?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I hope not. He's got a great plan.
Well, you save some good things.
Okay, let's go back now. How did you girls get together? How did you girls meet?
Dark alley.
In St. Petersburg, Florida.
St. Pete?
We were destined to meet. The two of us were absolutely
bookstore. Did you just meet doing comedy together one night? And
no, let me tell you, we went to an acting class, and someone hooked us together as partners in an acting class.
Oh,
and we went out after to discuss our scene. Welcome back, Jim.
Hi.
And we went to discuss our scene, and we both drove Thunderbirds.
Oh, it's a sign.
We both were one of 5 children from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we both wore our wedding bands on our middle fingers.
Well, there you go.
Why? I do not know. Just groovy. We thought we were groovy.
There's a lot of metaphor connotations that go with that.
A lot. And those marriages did dissolve. However, our friendship did not. But you know
what? It was just meant to be. It was like
really
the alignment coming together when you met each other.
When you find someone that has that much in common with you, you just say, well, hang on. We're going for a ride, honey.
I am to the chair, and that's all there is to that.
And what a ride it was. Again, your stuff, your comedy was brilliant to me. I just loved it, and I loved having you on my show. Love having you on my show now. I love seeing you two together again. You know, again, it's been a long time. Ramona, you did move up into the Midwest somewhere, right? Or move up north?
We're still together. See us? Well,
like
it was a pleasure.
Like you were never apart.
And we came to your show with a huge plate of what? Lady fingers and cheese barbells.
That's right.
Because we wanted to.
I remember the cheese barbells.
Yes, we wanted to.
I kept breaking them.
Yeah, you broke a lot of them. And we did not hold that against you in any way.
And when I went on your show, you had a wheel of impressions.
Yes,
which was impressive.
Yes.
And you knew most of the impressions that I could do. You put on the board: Kermit the Frog, Pee Wee Herman.
You impressioned your ass off for us, and we appreciate that.
Good times, good times.
Yes. So we've known each other for just under 100 years now, because of course that was many moons ago. Yeah.
You know, it's been over 30 years. I mean, seriously.
You didn't have to say the number.
Jones Access. Jim, were you the producer on the rgirls show as well?
Sadly, no.
Chad Kapler was the producer.
Sadly, no. Let
Chad.
me to
Chad. Can we drop his name? Can we drop Chad's name like that?
Chad told us the week that was the deadline to submit your shows for those wonderful awards you were talking about earlier. And when we questioned him on it, he said, I don't believe in awards. You're welcome, Jim. You're welcome, Rory.
Yes, we could have had awards, but no awards for the rgirls.
You know what? If I were at home, I would be able to show you physically the awards with Rebecca and I, the awards. One of them is for the dinosaur show, where they are thanking Rebecca with one B and one C, and Ramona with an O. And what
Ramona?
What that was
like Ramona?
But this is why Chad didn't believe in awards.
Yeah, because
they are fun. Come on.
Horrifying.
The whole process was fun. I mean, it was like you saw the curtains
on,
in the background of the video.
things.
You know, had the stars pinned to the curtains. I mean, it was like doing a garage show. You know, it's like let's pull everything together.
We are still.
Who's going to get props?
Ramona and I currently are in different hotel rooms. We're still trying to hunt Chad down so we can kick him in the shin for that disc.
You know,
he lives in Austin, Texas now.
The one shin, but I think two is appropriate. You know, after all,
kicks him in the shin. Yes,
a double shin kick.
Yes,
a double shin kick,
and probably the same
for
shin.
Chad.
You know, Rebecca gives him one, and then I follow up because you know I'm.
Now you also had an agent that would come on your show, right?
Yes, our agent,
Dr.
Professor Mr. Nosmo King.
Yes.
Nosmo.
Still in business, oddly.
Still in business.
Still in
Awesome.
business. He's a phone call away.
Yeah, we can call him.
We should have gotten his phone number and called him for here. We should have gotten him on.
No, you know, here's the thing: being a psychic and all, he already knows that.
You're a psychic.
Of course, that's why Dr. King is so important to us. Yes.
He was a psychic. Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
I
forgot that
he
part.
sees the very, very recent future. Like, we're talking 20 minutes.
Yes.
20 minutes is enough.
He just called me 20 minutes ago to inform me about a hurricane that's barreling towards us.
See?
Well, there you go. Jim, what do you got your fists up?
My fist? No, I'm just leaning on it.
Oh, my Lord.
He's very powerful tonight.
Does he look like he's ready to punch somebody?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is like shooting your computer screen. I feel like Bane. Why would you shoot a screen, your computer screen, while you're doing the show? I digress.
Well, I found it to be very powerful, Jim.
So what are some of your fondest memories of our girl days?
Drinking. And then there was
we always used to go out to Jimmy Max afterwards and have a drink after every show. We started Girls.
Yep. No.
Girls got a Local bar to sponsor them. How can you beat that?
How could you beat that? Well, let me say, one time we went to a club on Indian burial ground where the door boy, a big strapping 6'5" man with, 280 pounds of muscle, opened the door to let us in our little crazy get-ups. We had a fabulous time. People loved us. The management was gracious to us, thankful that we came to perform. And then on the way out, the door boy decided to give his opinion about our act because he was apparently dragophobic. So
this was the owner of
we
the club.
were horrified. Yeah, he threatened to harm us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ramona touched his arm and said, no one talks that way to the rgirls.
In my experience as a comic, there's a lot of club owners that want to tell you how to do your act. there's a lot.
He wasn't in there with us. He was offended by our guilt.
And just the idea we were guys, and it gave us a dose of what many guys for many years have had to go through. We just had it as a freak weird thing. But talk about imagine if this were your life every day, trying to get by and with a personality, with a wholeness, with feeling like I'm okay in my own skin. I'm all right. And to be able to dress.
But I wonder,
there's nothing better.
What would have happened if the rgirls had gone on to New York or to California? I could totally ruin my career by staying in Florida. Until I went to China.
We also ruined our careers. But
I could have taken off. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender.
How many times do we say that, honey? Oh.
Well, you know what? We did appear famously on The Kids in the Hall.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Please tell me about that, or tell our viewers about that.
The Kids in the Hall, we called to win a contest, and they came to town and filmed us and filmed us together, and we played our television show in the background, so perhaps they would, I don't know, discover us.
See, even the kids in the hall liked you.
They did. They do.
They
still do. They still
What's not to love?
And I'm on a Kids in the Hall webpage, and Paul Bellini, the man who came to town, who I literally touched with a wooden spoon. I guess that's not literally then, right? It was a distinct wooden spoon I had. In Ramona's bathrobe, and she peeked out the window. It was awesome. And he said it was the most delightful time he had coming to Florida and seeing us. So
we showed him a good time. There's no doubt.
We did show him a good time. We took him to see
Ramona, the next time you come to Florida, we all got to get together.
Absolutely.
We got to do Thai food because that's what Jim likes. But
Thai meal for something. I forget what it was.
I got a Thai food restaurant right around the corner from here called Thai-alicious. I still haven't tried it yet.
Thai-alicious.
But just the name alone, Thai-alicious.
You can't go wrong with Thai.
Or steak, small bits of steak. We're fine with that as well.
Oh, yes, large portions.
Very flexible in the eating department. Anyway, it was a blast. We actually literally had a wonderful time being the rgirls and being with you gentlemen tonight. This has been awesome.
Well, thank you. For us as well. Do you remember being on any other shows on public access, Joan Center Cable?
Oh, we were on real stuff. We were, well, of course, you know what I mean. Broadcast TV, the local channels, right?
Yeah.
Right. We were
when Ron and Ron were
Ron
clubs.
Ron Bennington and Ron
Bennington.
Good luck, I remember.
Ron Bennington spit on us.
No, he wished you good luck. He kept saying, "Luck you, luck you."
Yeah, and
we had no intention
horrifying
of dissing them, but as it came out, the whole episode of this woman's show, who was a sweet Kathy Fountain.
Kathy Fountain, from TV13.
Was to, talk about the situation of these two very popular guys losing their jobs, on the radio. And then Kathy, and this was Kathy's idea, she brings us out as possible replacements for them. Those guys did not like that. No, they didn't see it as funny. We're in the audience, looking like ourselves.
Oh man.
And they're letting us ask questions. And so the jig is up. The Orville's blah, 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 blah. We get into the parking garage, and Ron Bennington in his little sports car.
Convertible sports car.
Flying around.
A successful man.
Little sports car.
Very threatening. Very threatening.
He was, and it's like, I felt bad. The last thing in the world that, we just thought it was a joke and never thought that he would.
Yeah, you would think that a comedian would have a sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He had a mean streak, though. He
we're
did.
the lowest of the low. We're not even drag queens.
He would
Those
take
guys,
the
you can't
performances
really take
at
us
his club
seriously.
in Clearwater, Florida, and he would save the bad performances where people were dying on stage, and he would show them at his house at parties.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I
there.
remember seeing Brian Regan. The only time I ever saw Brian Regan not get huge laughs was at Ron Bennington's. Wow.
We
I was like,
performed
why
there.
would you do that?
You went over there. You were such a pal, Rory. You're such a Ron Bennington pal.
Well, we
Exactly. Rory gets to see Ron Bennington's whole movies, isn't it?
I died on his stage. He put another impersonator on in front of me on purpose just to kill my act.
That sounds like Ron Bennington, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like him. Right.
I got booed that night.
Listen, these were the famous people at the time that we were aspiring to be. And so we were looking up to them, but we wanted to participate as much as possible.
See, and that's the kind of thing that
And
kills
that brings
creativity.
us
You know what
back.
I'm saying? It's terrible that we have to get over those kind of hurdles.
That's right.
But it does.
That brings
It
us
actually
back
kills
to Chad
inspiration. It kills the creativity.
Back to Chad.
Mentioning his name again and again. I'll mention his name.
Do it.
I'm listening.
He robbed us of glory.
That bastard.
Another woman now I've had plenty of time to think
Yeah, let's
about.
treat it like Voldemort. The name
He
that
robbed
said.
us of our glory, which was due to us.
So Jim, who stole your glory back in the day? Anybody?
We still had our own glory, but he just didn't want to participate in it fully.
Jim's writing is just taken off now. He's gotten all kinds of acceptances and awards and things. I've just been real proud of him.
I went over his house the othir night and I presented him with an award.
He's really good about submitting everything to everybody, which I am not. I'm like the least. He's like dragging me with him, like, yeah, submit to this, do this, come on, you got good stories.
By the way, I believe it or not, Rory, I actually got Hooper to write something for that. Yeah, that one that you got accepted. Did you get an acceptance yet, Rory?
I'm sorry?
Did you get an acceptance? What happened to the art
No,
girls?
not yet.
What happened to the art girls?
You went to London.
We accept you.
They took you to England, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So that's great. That's fantastic. What are you girls up to now? What are you doing?
No good. We're up to no good. I told you, I'm in a hotel room. She's in a hotel room. She's in a hotel room. And we are trying to hunt down Chad.
You girls are not in hotel rooms.
She's disappointed us. So,
yeah?
That's not a hotel room, Ramona, is it? That's your house, isn't it?
No.
What I'm trying to say to you is whoever disappointed us, we will hunt you down. Now, we will have fun with you when we find you. Don't get us wrong. But we will hunt you down.
Take Jim's BB gun with you.
I'm going to take Jim with me. What are you talking about? A man that can reach his foot
Did I
up
say
to his
Jim
mouth like that? That's impressive. Come on.
I was impressed with the quick change. That was a really good quick change.
Did he just not bite his toenails? I mean, the man is ambidextrous.
I don't know where that came from, but
it's a compliment.
I saw it, Jim. I saw it.
So what can I say? As always, a pleasure to see you all, my good friends. I'm so happy that you came in for this reunion show.
So happy.
We were a little worried here and there that some of you might not show, and I'm so glad you all made it for this. I'm just
and finally,
beside the moon
Jonathan is
now.
back.
Yes.
And I hope to see more of you guys.
Joining us.
And maybe Renee is
seeing
back
Jim
for
every
that
Monday night.
our girl with the RE.
with the Just Right Lakeland writers meeting, and they need women to come and read. So if you girls are not doing anything on a Monday evening,
Yeah,
you
I'm trying to
get on the list.
Let me check. Ramona, can you still read? I'm just checking. Ramona.
Classes I will.
Can you read though? Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, apparently
Why is
so.
the logo here? This is irritating to me. Why do I get the logo?
Welcome to my
It's
world.
the top right corner. You just get put in the top right corner. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I'm back where I belong.
On you. Everybody have a great
Covered up by the
evening. I hope you
logo.
had a good 4th of July. I love you all very much. Keep watching the new It's Casual. Hopefully we'll have you back on again soon. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rory.
Peace
Thank you,
out,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.